Usamos estampillas.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
Welcome to Violent People Radio. This is episode number 7. I'm Dan Rice, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris.
Howdy.
Tanner.
What's up?
And Sam.
Hell yeah, brother.
And this is a crazy episode. This is like a really big deal. All 4 of us, I believe, watched some wrestling this week.
Yeah, but Dan, you know we can't start.
No. I don't want to launch it at all. I don't want to talk about wrestling until about minute 45.
But don't hard launch.
Yeah. I'm just really excited because I'm like, everyone's going to mention professional wrestling at some point.
I will say, not to be a tease, It's very funny that we all watched a whole show this week.
But I get a lot of shit about watching whole shows.
Well, are we really teasing that much when it was? We're going to talk about
The show
I'm
we
going
already
to
talked
spoil
about.
it right now. I'm going to talk about the show we've talked about multiple times on this podcast.
We've talked about it,
and
like
we've all
3
said we were
times
excited.
in 6
for it.
episodes.
Let me say this. I expected 75% of the podcast to watch the full show.
Why would you call me out like that?
There's an
He was
unnamed...
too busy putting out the finishing touches on the next Luch post.
Thursday.
There we go.
But Dan, let's go ahead and, address the elephant in the room, why everybody's here. And that's for another Tanner soda review.
Oh, no.
Question. What was the first soda review you did on the show?
No.
I think I drank a beer a few episodes back.
Yeah.
That's not a soda. You know that, right?
It's not soda.
I know it was a seltzer.
It was a really good review because
Also not a soda.
Sam was
Do you
muted
know
the
what
whole
soda
time.
is?
No, it was a soda.
No,
I think
Sam,
Dan-
you were muted the whole time. You kept going, this sounds like something you'd like, right, Sam? Or, don't you
Oh
like
yeah,
this,
no,
Sam?
I was there.
Okay.
I was there.
We talked about that before you joined the call, Dan. Apparently Sam's microphone has just been disconnecting.
Oh, that's...
There's been multiple episodes where I think last time 3 different times, Dan, you had referenced. All right, guess Sam doesn't give a shit. In which case, I was communicating. You just could not hear me.
That makes me feel so much better. I literally thought, I'm like, Sam's done with this podcast.
Sam,
That said, if you talk about New Japan or AEW or WWE for prolonged periods of time,
So the big top this week
I will go
is
take a shit.
a G1 preview. In depth. So I look forward to your thoughts.
but anyways, I have an Abita King Cake soda. It's seasonal, a seasonal variant. Coworker bought this and said, I can't drink them anymore. I'm addicted. I will say I did not realize that
It's ruined my life.
Yeah, it's ruined my life.
financially ruined.
I can't. I'm spending $3,600 a month on Abita King Cake soda. I don't know how to budget. I will say I didn't realize Abita did not beer, but they apparently do root beer and a ton of these seasonal craft sodas. So here we go.
Before he gives his review, I'd like to say I first read it as King Crab soda. I was pretty excited.
I thought it was the King Hand soda.
Huh.
All right.
This
That's a hot feedback.
Have any of y'all ever had like proper king cake?
No.
Like from Louisiana king cake?
No.
No.
Okay, well, Dan, I expected better of you. So it's like a light cinnamony-esque cake. It's usually a little dry. Even the good ones are a little dry. And then the icing is just like a pretty basic vanilla slash but it's not buttercream, but it's like a vanilla glaze sort of deal. This has the cake flavor down pat, but it tastes more like a cinnamon roll soda. I don't know, pretty good.
I don't need a cinnamon roll.
Sounds like ass.
soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a cake review that says even the good ones are dry.
Well, a little dry, like a little dry.
Are those the ones with the babies in them?
Yes, it is the Mardi Gras cake with the baby in them.
How'd you pronounce that?
Mardi Gras?
That's not how I said it the
Okay.
first time.
It's not okay. As long as we're both on the same page,
No,
Dan.
no,
Thank
yeah.
you.
This is another .do situation.
And to put an editor note to make that part extra loud. Maybe put it on repeat actually for like a minute straight.
Speaking of extra loud, Sam, you are coming in just a little hot on my end.
He is.
Speaking of extra loud, I'm smoking on the extra loud. No, I'm not.
Shit!
I had a migraine earlier. Smoking weed does not seem like it would be a good idea.
Yeah, you
to
got
do
a
after
Zen in
that.
right now, though, Chris?
No.
This
Oh, yeah, me neither.
last weekend I was at the Greenbrier Resort. It's like a fancy schmancy luxury resort. Like you have to wear a coat if you go out in the hallway. You can't be no jeans, that kind of place. And I did a lot of the weed, and it felt like really breaking the law.
So you were just dick out with a jacket on?
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
I did get like just it was like my cousin is like now like the king of all accountants or something. So there's a big dinner and
Congratulations.
reception, and you go to the casino, and yeah, just got wasted and
He's
did
anointed
drugs.
with oils.
And they were all, the hotel seemed really, really cool with that. I'm like, it's so weird to be okay with all this, but you can't wear jeans. We can't see you in denim.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's too hot for pants right now. Can I get an amen on that one?
I mean,
Brother,
amen. I was
it's
wearing pants.
so hot. It's 90. It's in the 90s and humid. Like just walking from my job to the Jimmy John's to pick up my sandwich on my break, which is 1 block. I felt like I was like being suffocated by the air.
Yeah, like we're going to Disney World in a few weeks, and it's been more humid here than it is in Orlando. Like it's hotter with it, and like the humidity is greater here in like Central Alabama than it is in Orlando.
I want you to have a good
Florida.
time. I can't do Disney in July. I've done it once before. It is just too hot.
My mom said it was easy because her and my sister and brother-in-law did it last year. She said you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this summer it has been brutal though.
I think it's kind of my fault because I think we had a very mild spring here when usually it gets pretty hot like in like late April here and stays hot pretty much through mid-October. And we got through April and even got through May. I'm like, pretty cool. And like the first couple of days of June, I think we had like June 1st, the high was like 79. I'm like, okay. And it's just been hot as fuck for so long now. I don't remember it being cool. I was driving home from work today. My car said 104.
I feel like I'm always shit talking my pool now, 2 episodes in a row, but it's too hot. It's like a bathtub right now.
You want to hear what we did this weekend? I got to tell this story because it's so funny. My nephew came over, so we had got like a little kiddie pool for him, and you know he leaves whatever, and we still have the kiddie pool, and we were like, oh, we're gonna sit in the kiddie pool. Obviously, like I'm 6 foot. This is a true pool for an infant, so that didn't work. My wife found like this unopened tarp. And we made like the most white trash backyard pool imaginable. We tied it to like our hammock, a tree, and 2 chairs, and just filled it up with water and just laid in it on Sunday. It's pretty nice. I won't lie.
My nieces are in the cheer, so we have like these big long air tracks for them to tumble on, and what I do is I set up a big canopy I have over top of it and put a inflatable pool at the end of it and put sprinklers all over that canopy, and it becomes like a giant like redneck slip and slide.
Oh man, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's been too hot to even do that though.
My backyard is a parking lot.
Flat surface.
Yeah, good for a slip and slide.
Yeah, parking lots notoriously good for a slip and slide.
You gotta have someone on watch. I'm not gonna say you don't.
Yeah, like at guardrails. Definitely guardrails. But yeah, it's just been fucking hot. Like before the. Luckily, like my house is newer, so like airflow, it is nice. It's nicer than a lot of houses, like around here, with it just being newer. But it was like 76 upstairs when I came into my office. Now, granted, my office is the coldest room in the house. It feels good in here, but it's been brutal. It has been brutal. I'm not excited to be in Orlando in a couple of weeks. And I'm also not excited about, I mean, I am excited. I'm going to night one of SCI, but TWE, I'm pretty sure, does not have air conditioning. And that's just going to be fucking miserable.
I've been showing houses in this, and some people that don't like, it's a vacant house, they don't live there anymore. They'll set their thermostat to like 85, I guess, to save money. But no one wants to be in your house when it's 85. So like people, we walk into these like hot boxes and we turn right back around. We go, nope.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad we bought our house. Like, we were house hunting when we first bought our house in February. I think literally any later time of the year, any house that was above like 73, I would have just been like, nope, can't do it.
It's like, even though you'll be in charge of the AC, you're like, I just can't picture being comfortable in this house.
Yeah, I'm like, I can never physically imagine myself in this house. I want to get an AC check on y'all. Where are we keeping our AC at in our houses?
69.
Like, okay, 69, Chris?
Like, depending, like, because it's weird because like we have like a townhouse type deal.
Yeah.
So like the main like living area with the kitchen, dining room, living room stays relatively cool.
Mm-hmm.
But upstairs gets so hot.
Yeah.
So like sometimes if most of us are downstairs, we'll keep it around just like 71.
Okay, that's fair.
But we've had to move it down.
Sam,
also,
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Also, it's really hard for it to actually read our build. Like, even though it gets cool, stays cool, it like doesn't like. It has a hard time with the thermostat actually achieving like the 60s. So if we turn it down there, it just keeps running. And so like if we put it in the 60s, that's just putting our energy bill even more crazy than it's already going to be.
Yeah, our power bill, and like my house is not that big, but our power bill like this last month was like almost $300, and I'm just like, whew. Oh brother, you're killing me. Sam, where are we keeping your house at?
64.
Oh,
Holy,
I like that.
Okay, good lord, fucking coastal elite.
It's cool in here.
Man, Sam's snorting that Super Mario, keeping his house on 64 degrees. God damn.
We ain't messing around.
Oh my God. I'm gonna edit this
Dude,
out.
I'm
No
gonna
one's gonna
sleep.
listen to us if we know how rich you are, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. That's going down to 62.
Holy shit. Oh man, I do that in a hotel room. Like I'll turn it down. I'll go as low as
Oh yeah, I turn it down
goes.
so low in a hotel room. I love the hotel AC.
I stayed in a hotel one time where the AC went down to 58. I said, "You bet your fucking ass."
Yeah, that's not my energy bill, baby.
I turned that shit down. It was funny. Last trip, when we went to Disney World last March, I had turned the AC down to 60, which is as low as it would go. And like every day I would come back in and I'd reset to 75. And I had to call down to like mouse services, which is what they call house service. And I was like, look, whoever's touching the AC in here, stop. I said, it got to stay at 60 in here. I said, if it is not at 60 in this room, I pixie dust it, do whatever you got to do. It's got to stay as cold as possible in this room. And they didn't touch it again.
One time I was looking at buying this triplex, which was like, it was like, I don't know what you call it. It was like a duplex with like an apartment above it. And each of the duplexes had their own thermostats, but the one upstairs didn't. I'm like, what's going on there? And the guy goes, oh, the house, the side on the right controls that one. And I go, well, how does that work? He goes, well, I lived up here. My grandma lived down there. And I go, but you guys won't anymore, right? like when I buy it, my tenants will probably want to control their own air conditioning. And he's like, yeah, I never thought of that. I don't want to put another air conditioning unit in. I went, all right.
Nah, Granny's controlling the air.
He couldn't understand why I thought there would be a third air conditioning unit. I don't know.
That's awesome, man. I don't know what it is about being old, but like my Paul keeps his house at 84 degrees all times of the year, and I'm just like, brother, I'm dying in here. It's a sauna. We can't be having Thanksgiving in here and it's 84 degrees. I'm wearing a fucking sweater, for God's sakes.
Yeah, my grandparents, like they lived in a really old farmhouse, and my uncle still lives there, but like they no central air there because there would be like no feasible way to do it.
Yeah.
So they would just they had a window unit on the main floor. And then one it kind of went down. There was like a bigger living room a little bit downstairs, and they'd have another living room there. And whenever we stayed there, I just fucking camped by that window unit.
Yep.
Like I made sure I put my air mattress or my sleeping bag right next to that thing before any of my brothers or sisters could.
Yep. I mean, that's the way to do it. I will say that's one thing about Alabama. I guess just because it's always been so fucking hot here, I've never had a family member that's had... I don't think I've ever seen a window unit in a house in Alabama. Like, I just don't think that would be feasibly possible without your house getting into the 90s. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever physically have seen a window unit. Ever.
I find that shocking, but I've never been to Alabama. Well, I guess I've driven through it, but wasn't looking for window units.
Yeah, well, next time you're here, just stop by my house.
I'm going to Sam's house. It's 64 there.
Well, Sam doesn't live in Alabama.
It's nice.
That does sound nice. That does sound nice. 64. I don't.
Give it a go. See what happens.
Yeah. Now, do y'all turn the heat on in the winter? Y'all probably got to.
Do I turn the heat on in
mean?
Wisconsin in the winter? Yes. Yes, I do.
I've turned the heat on twice in my house.
I usually start a fire in the middle of mine. Just go with that.
No, I mean, I just stay cold. I layer up, but baby.
Tanny, remember my long week of the various plumbers and all of that stuff?
Yeah.
So like,
how could I forget?
You remember that day, the day where the ceiling caved in because of the leak?
Yeah, it's like the middle of January.
Yeah, that was also the day that we lost power for most of the day, and it was like maybe single digits.
Oh man.
And like our house went from whatever temperature in the 60s we were keeping it when the heat was on to it was probably in the 40s.
I remember in high school, this the last real big snow, quote unquote, snowstorm we had here. We actually called it snowpocalypse. Happened my senior year of high school, so it was early 2014, and everybody like at my high school. And keep in mind, the building I went to high school in was built in the 40s or 50s. It was very old. And they were like, "Nah, it's gonna be fine." And I parked in the athletic parking lot, which was down a hill. And at about 11:30, it started snowing, and the hill froze over. And you know, I went to school in Central Alabama, so obviously a bunch of like souped up trucks. And I remember all like the rednecks were like, "Nah, my truck can get up that hill." And everybody's vehicle was stuck there legitimately for 6 days. And it was only like it dropped to maybe 25 degrees. I couldn't tell you I don't know since I've been conscious, if there has been like a true single digit day here. Maybe a feel like a single digit temperature, but I don't think it's ever been truly a single digit temperature since I've been like a conscious person.
How long has that been?
3 years.
Okay, pretty good.
I think you get that frontal lobe at 25, so yeah, probably about 3 years.
All right.
Well, that's enough weather talk. Are y'all?
We should probably talk about
Yeah,
some
we've watched
pro
more wrestling than we have combined probably in the history of this short-lived podcast. And we just spent 20 minutes talking about air conditioning.
And
That's what-
I want to move
that's
on, but I
where
also want to be
people
like,
come from.
Sam, what's the square footage of your house?
I also wanted to ask Sam.
I've been
square footage
sitting
of
on
his
that question the whole time. Sam,
house. Okay, yeah, Sam, hit us.
Let me look up this on Realtor.com or Zillow real quick.
it's just 64.
No,
I don't know how you're doing it.
1,700 square feet.
Okay, all right, it's
Okay.
not all right. That's a decent sized home.
Yeah, 2-story, Sam, or a single story?
Technically 3 stories in a way, but
A basement's not a story.
yeah, sure, whatever. Then it's 2.
Okay, and your exact home address is?
I have Sam's old address.
Who the fuck's gonna come to my house? Who's gonna come to my house?
All right, and
no,
your
I'm not gonna say
mother's
that on the
maiden
podcast.
name.
Which is like the last 4 of my social security. Is that what we're looking for here?
Also,
I want
what's
the whole
street
thing.
that you grew up on?
Your high school mascot.
Also, what's your lucky number? Man.
Golden Eagle.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Golden Eagle?
Golden Eagle.
It's not. Is that a real bird?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mine's the meteors. No one asked. I also want to say before I say this, I live in poverty, so this is not as impressive as it sounds. Mine's 3,500 square feet.
holy.
I couldn't be doing 64, Sam. I'd die. There's three.
Yeah,
You'd have
that'd be
to- you'd
a
have to have,
lot.
like, You would have to
Lot of
have
space.
another fucking unit.
I have 3 units.
What the fuck? You have
Damn,
three
what are we doing
units?
here? What are we doing here?
It's a big house.
Yeah, 3 zones.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
This is
Man, Dan's living on a fucking Fortnite map.
I bet it. Sam lives in like real people live there. I bet his house costs more, even though it's double the size.
Oh!
I live
I
in the
would,
tri-state.
I would
Oh, for
bet for certain.
New York's
Sam
crazy.
And I sound like we have a pretty comparable house. My house is like 1450, not counting the garage, and I bet I paid less than half what Sam paid.
And your address is so we can find out. All right, no, for real. Let's talk about wrestling.
Hell yeah!
Tanner, it sounds like you watched some.
I did.
Let's hear about it.
So, I watched some Pro Wrestling Noah.
Okay.
boo.
2024 Pro Wrestling Noah.
I did too. That's
But I-
awesome.
That's interesting.
Interesting. I watched the Go Shiozaki 20th anniversary show.
Oh yeah, I watched one match from that show.
I watched almost the whole card.
Whoa.
Just I threw it on Sunday and just didn't think twice about it. I got a few matches I want to talk about here. So I was really excited. A lot of you know I've been a Muhammad Yone truther this year. I think he's having a really good year. Let me say, him and Shuji Ishikawa, just fine.
Okay.
All right,
right.
there you go.
Cool stuff.
Just fine.
We're rallying here.
Just fine.
The Yone,
You can pick it up here then.
the
You can just move it
Yone,
along.
yeah, the Yone top 5 VP 100 run may be over.
No, I want to say that
Never
now,
existed.
now that we have this podcast, we can go back and see that Tanner's watched like 3 Yone matches and one was just fine.
No. I've watched a lot of Yone. Just this was the first. God, this may be the first time since this podcast has started I've watched 2024 wrestling. Besides episode 1.
I asked you like a month ago, maybe.
Oh,
2 weeks ago,
I
don't know.
I watched Cody versus AJ. I did watch that.
Yeah,
match.
we all know.
Yes, thank you. I asked you for recommendations for 2010's Yone matches, and I'm just sitting here begging,
Yeah,
waiting.
still-
You
for
think,
my...
you think I can just bang out a fucking list?
He
for,
asked weeks ago.
Yeah,
for a
it's-
number 1 contender? That
It's been like 2 weeks. And you can't.
It's like you don't want them to succeed.
listen, I
Did you watch Yone Tanaka from earlier in the year?
I did. That match fucking rocked.
That is like a good. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that match rocked. And Yone's been good. And this match was fine. Like for my star raters out there, I went 3 on it.
Oh, it must suck.
Yeah.
That's an ass
Tanner's
match
3 is
forever.
anyone else's 1.5.
Can I tell y'all something that broke my heart? Higuchi
Sucked ass.
Fujita was also just fine.
No,
I don't think it sucked ass.
I hated it. I don't know. I was so excited. It's the only match I watched from the show, and I was like, well, I'm done with this show.
They worked that match in such a weird way. It made Higuchi look like a bitch. Like like I can't even put it all on Fujita. And I will say the last 90 seconds did. And the match is only like 8.5 minutes long. And the last minute and a half was, really fucking good. But the 7 minutes before that was so boring. Like it was just like nothing. It was inoffensive, but like it was just there. Like they just did stuff. Like Fujita was acting like he didn't take Higuchi serious. Higuchi was acting like he didn't take Fujita serious. He's like, oh, this old fucking guy. And like not in the way where it made the match better. And like, oh, these two don't respect each other. They're gonna hit the fuck out of each other. Like Higuchi was throwing some weak ass chops. Fujita wasn't really connecting with a lot of his stuff outside of like the 2 punt kicks at the end. Yeah, it was like super disappointing. I thought.
Did you think some of the selling was like almost like comical at some points too?
Yeah,
like it seemed like they were like fucking with us. Like it was like a joke.
Yeah, it seemed like, and Dan, that might also be a way to look at it. Is it almost was like, this isn't even a sellout Korakuen. Like we're not gonna kill each other. But I mean, it was a good house. I think the announced number was like 1,200. Like for 2024 Noah, that's like as good as it's fucking getting in Korakuen. And yeah, they just like didn't do much for me. It made me really sad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I thought the match was still fine, but like with those two guys, like I'm expecting like match of the year contender.
My plan was to watch that match and then the main event, and then I watched that match and was like, no, I'm done with this show. I just turned it off.
Let me tell you, Dan, main event fucking ruled. Probably the best Segura performance in a couple years.
High bar.
I'm talking best Segura performance since he was like GHC national champion and was wrestling like Sakuraba and Fujita and Murakami and all that. Like, I mean, it was like legitimately good. He was laying it in. He actually looked motivated. Marufuji actually looked very motivated. And then obviously Shiozaki and Akiyama were fucking great in that match. Awesome match. It's not on the same level as the Go and then Kotoge versus Nagata and Nakayama match from the first Limit Break show, but it's fairly close. Fairly close. But I did watch one more Pro Wrestling Noah match. I watched Gabe Kidd versus Kaito Kiyomiya.
I have not watched that yet.
Because I know our Discord is very divided
on Gabe Kidd.
On Gabe Kidd, yes, they are very divided. Where people are like, it seems like consensus mostly is he is a fine wrestler. He's getting some bad tendencies because he's hanging out with Will Ospreay too much, and he talks way too fucking much during his matches. But yeah, this match I thought was fucking great. We get a double blade job. I will say Kaito's was a little weaker than Gabe's, and Gabe's really didn't make sense because Gabe bladed off a tiger suplex onto the apron, which is weird, which was a weird choice for that. But the match itself is good. I mean, they beat the fuck out of each other. It does go long. I could see a lot of people not liking it. And that also, it seems like Noah is getting back into its tendencies of main events just going way too long. Like the Shiozaki 20th anniversary match, it goes to a 30-minute draw. And then Kaito Kid went like 28 minutes. And these shows happened in the same week.
I mean, the time limit draw on the anniversary main event is like, that's kind of expected.
I do agree.
Those kinds of matches.
I do agree. Shiozaki has went to a time limit draw on every single limit break show. He went to a time limit draw with Akitoshi Saito for the 0-1 World Championship, and then that first tag match from the first limit break show also went to a time limit draw. And this take out also, Noah ran a 25-minute Suzuki Keno match in May that was, or maybe it was even the beginning of June, that was very not good, as in maybe the worst match I've seen this year. And like, I mean, Marufuji Ibushi went 32 minutes, even though that match was a little beast. It went like 32 minutes. Like they're just booking really long matches again. But I will say this match is good. Is it because they just beat the shit out of each other and it was a double blade job?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go has had 6 time limit draws in 2024.
Yeah, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. That's like, I was looking through some of the Victory tag stuff because I was like, man, I really enjoyed that Shiozaki Kotoge tag team. And like they were doing fucking 25-minute matches in like the middle of the fucking tour. I'm like, what are we doing against like Oka Sasaki and Takashi Sugiura? I'm like, there's no way that's fucking good.
That's not necessary. That's unnecessary.
So they're just really bloating their stuff, and I think at the end of the year, even though there's been a few Noah matches I've really, really enjoyed, like that first limit break tag is still probably in my top 10 of the year. Like they're just bloating their product so much. Like, holy shit. Like I bet Marufuji Styles is going to go close to 30. They're also doing Keno, Yuji Nagata. That's probably going to go close to 30. The N1's coming up. There's probably going to be multiple time limit draws in that because there always is. It's just a lot of just time in the ring, and all of it's not very good. But I will say, if you make time for anything, I do think you should watch the Kaito Gabe stuff because it was good. It makes me want to go and watch. I think they had 2 Prelude tags, one on like the Universal Pro Japan wrestling show, like the joint promotion thing, and I think they had one other one. So I probably will go back and watch those, but like even both of those go like 20 minutes, and I think they both end in double countouts.
I was gonna say, there's a world where you get me to watch Kiyomiya and Kid go 28. I don't know that I'm watching Kiyomiya Keno versus Gabe Kidd and Jake Lee go to a double countout in 20 minutes.
No. Yeah.
I'm never gonna catch back up on that one.
It's a lot, but I will say I do think people should make the time for Kaito Gabe, especially if you like their G1 stuff or their G1 match from last year. I think
that's a great match.
This is probably about on the level the G1 match is probably just a little bit better because it's way more concise. But this is still really, really good. Those two just have like an undeniable chemistry somehow. And Kaito also didn't lean too much into the Muda shtick, which I'm not loving considering what kind of wrestler Kaito is. I think he's just leaning a little too much into the Muda isms, and he doesn't pull it off as well as Muda did. Like, if you're gonna be that hokey, you need to go all the way with it, and like he'll wrestle 85% of a match.
I would say it always feels tacked on at the end. He's like, oh, okay, here's the Muda portion.
Yeah, like, okay, time to hit, my fucking elbows and, 7 shining wizards. This doesn't have that to that extent, but it is a little crazy. But yeah, so that's like my non-Bloodsport stuff I want to talk about, and I defer to whoever wants to go next.
Chris, do you watch any wrestling besides Bloodsport?
Yeah, I watched. I haven't been able to watch the stuff from like the CMLL where they brought the New Japan guys in yet, but I finally was able to catch the Blue Panther Hachisero match that they ran, and that is a phenomenal match right there. I know a
lot of people are saying Blue Panther Wrestler of the Year case.
Yeah, he's getting some like pretty damn good showcase matches in CMLL so far this year, and I mean I'm not mad at that agenda. And Hechicero, I mean, he is also a guy who you think about what he's been doing this year, and you think about what all the wrestlers are doing this year, and Hechicero, it would be towards the top of a list when thinking about such things.
If Hechicero gets something watchable out of MJF next weekend, I mean, I think he has to.
I mean, if he gets a watchable match out of MJF, then yeah, it's
a lock.
It's over.
I am weirdly curious about that match. About what does that even look like? I haven't watched MJF versus Roosh yet, but
yeah. Speaking of which, I did catch that match, and I did not. It was fine. Like the parts where Roosh was in control, which was thankfully most of the match, were good. But even just like the 30% of the match that MJF was in control or on any sort of offense, just I do not care for that for that man as a wrestler.
Was that MJF's first match back since he's come back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's this moment where he does like a spin around back rake, and my eyes just rolled almost somehow out of the back of my head. I don't know how. They were trying to escape through the back of my neck. I had to get them to go back to being normal eyes after that spot. But I mean, Roosh tried his best.
It really felt like the floor of a Roosh singles match.
Yes,
because I mean, he's done it. I mean, I've watched him wrestle Christopher Daniels, Jay Lethal, people that I'm not huge fans of, and they're still great. And this was good. Like I didn't regret watching it, but there were definitely annoying parts.
I would not even call it good, but I don't have. If people seem to like it, and I don't have it, like an issue. If you're going to champion an MJF match, it makes sense to champion the ones that he is on offense the least and is getting his ass kicked for most of it. So I caught that, and then I kind of stopped watching that Dynamite for a little bit, and I made it back in time for the main event, which was Claudio versus Pac. And whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you saying the feeling's back? Tony got it back?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm just saying my friends were watching on a Discord call, and I made it back to watch the stream for that match exactly, and I would not probably have watched it if like they weren't in a stream watching it.
Tony did announce Moxley, Claudio, Yuta versus LIJ, Shingo, Takahashi, and Teton tomorrow, and I like that a lot. I'll take.
It might be.
Yeah, BCC.
That might be interesting, but yeah, I mean, I'm not a big.
Hell yeah.
Not a big Pac guy in general, so.
Can I also say something? Too, a Claudio singles match just doesn't get me excited anymore. Like I'm sure 99% of the time it's like an actively good match, but like I don't see Claudio versus a name. Like there's very few wrestlers I could see Claudio have a singles match with where I go, okay, that's like appointment viewing.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, he hasn't had a lot of singles matches, uh, like since the whatever
the
the
Continental Classic.
yeah, the C2
Yeah.
that have really been against opponents that jump off the page in the first place. So that's part of it, but um I guess he had that. I never saw that swerve match that I know people liked. Um I'm sure that's good, but
I mean, I'm sure most of his singles stuff is still good. Like, I can't imagine him just degrading that quickly as a wrestler. But it's like I don't find his stuff like. I guess like thinking about where he placed last year for us, like in the FK WABTs, and well, did he place in the? Was he in the top 10 for the FK WABTs?
I
I don't
don't think
remember.
he was.
He was definitely a contender. Somebody we talked about, and like this year, like I don't see him sniffing that. Where I look at just other guys on that list, and I would get more excited about any of their singles matches as opposed to Claudio. And it makes me sad because I really like Claudio, but like even seeing him in a 6-man tag where he should like excel, I'm just like, oh, like he's like the fourth guy in that match I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's kind of that weird AEW kind where it's at, and they don't have they're in this weird spot where they've got a lot of talented guys that don't necessarily feel like on the level you would hope. There are exceptions. I think Roderick Strong is having a phenomenal year
Yes.
in AEW. From what I've seen of him, Roosh, MJF match accepted. Like the what I've seen of like his squash matches has been really awesome. Orange Cassidy as fun as ever, etc. But yeah, it's in this weird spot, and though unfortunately the one match from that Dynamite that I was more interested probably than either of the match, the big 8-man tag, which is like 7 guys I like and Kyle Fletcher. I missed that one. But I heard that one was good too. It's like Dante Martin, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, ZSJ, Takeshita, lots of fun guys.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely just seems like Claudio. I mean, there's other guys in AEW that have this problem, but Claudio is in that weird gray area where like it feels like the mid card titles he's like too big for, but like, well, I mean, he could challenge for the world title and like that'd be fine, but like he doesn't seem believable as a challenger.
Yeah,
So, which kind of sucks. Like, because I mean, he is like a really good hand. I mean, you could probably put Claudio with MJF and it'd be completely fine, even. But like, I don't know. It does make me kind of sad because I really like Claudio, and I really liked him when he first got into AEW, and then he just kind of seems to just be like a guy that he'll show up on TV and be completely fine, but not somebody I get excited about anymore, which kind of sucks.
It's been said all over Twitter, but that 8-man tag's upsetting just because like they could do that every week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tony could definitely. That was the thing about like the CM Punk era Rampage or Collision when it started. Was that they were doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they were
the 6-man and 8-man tags like every week, and they would go like 25-30 minutes, and they all fucking ruled.
Yeah. Like those early tags with the Guns and Bang Bang Gang and Samoa Joe and Punk and Ricky Starks, like, and FTR, like really fun matches.
Yeah, I mean, even the Dynamite Collision double taping I went to, Collision had it was Trent, Orange Cassidy. Shit, I'm blanking on. everybody else. But the other team had like Christian, Luchasaurus, like Brian Cage and Roderick Strong. It was an 8-man tag and went like 25 minutes. It was arguably the best match on that taping. That also had the BCC versus FTR and Eddie Kingston match. And I think I like that 8-man tag a little bit more. And it's just like you literally could be dedicating 20 minutes of TV time a week. Just throw 6 to 8 people in the ring, and chances are it's going to be pretty good because your roster is just that stacked. And instead, we're doing like the learning tree with Chris Jericho and shit like that. It's just
Yeah, and
so fucking bizarre.
it's a really strange thing because it's like there's a reason that like even on like big shows in Japan and in Mexico, like the undercards are filled with multi-man tags because that builds future feuds. It gets people on the card. It keeps guys fresh in the audience's mind. Only one guy is taking the pin.
That's what I was saying. In a promotion where it seems like nobody wants to take a fall, like, there you go.
Yeah. Seems like a super easy solution.
Oh, well.
Makes
Now
no
we
sense.
need to talk to the AEW expert, Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
You watch any wrestling?
See, I said, hey, if you talk about AEW for a substantial period of time, you're just not going to hear from me.
You're going to lock
Well,
in.
I'm asking about what you watch besides Bloodsport.
What did I watch besides Bloodsport? Not a whole ton. I watched Muhammad Yone versus Tomoyaki Hama from New Japan's Pro Wrestling. I believe Dominion from 2010.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds fucking awesome.
It was good. Not great. Good. I don't know if I'm a big Hanma guy. Never was. Here we are.
Well, he really
Right.
only has that stretch in like the mid 2010s. Like he's fine the rest of the decade, but it's really that mid 2010 stuff you want to watch from Hanma.
I think that stuff's fake. I think he doesn't really improve as a wrestler. People just love the bit of him not winning, and that was entirely the premise of him.
You
being
have to wait until his body is completely broken down and it feels like he could just like all his ligaments could tear at the same time, but he's still doing all of the spots. You have to wait until that, and then he becomes the sickest wrestler.
Oh hell yeah!
Well, I mean, he does have like the Ishii matches and the Shibata matches, you know, that are. I mean, again, I realize he's in there with Ishii and Shibata, but he more than holds his weight in those matches, and he has a
I don't
couple
think
of
he
really
materially improves as a professional wrestler during those matches. It's not like he enters those matches and becomes a different dude. He's just against. I'm not a huge fan of the Ishii matches, but anywho, he's not a very good professional wrestler. I don't think he's terrible. He just there's a period of time where he was talked up as like, wow, how did we miss out on this guy? And I think it's like Taryn just said, no one missed out on him. He was just wrestling some of the wrestlers that everyone considered some of the best in the world.
Yeah,
And
Well, he's
that'll
at
make
his
you go
best-
like, hey,
He's at his best when he's getting the shit beat out of him. I mean, frankly.
we'll agree to disagree that he's any good at it. But anyway, also watched some Smash from 2010.
Hell yeah.
Which, whatever. I've decided I'm gonna invest in the Kodama for VP 2010s list. In that narrative.
All right.
Okay.
And see how that
Wow. Sam's
pays
gonna be
off.
the sole voter for Kodama.
Gotta respect my the import for 2CW. So the ultimate dude now.
You're gonna be
He's
watching,
good, guys. He's good.
I was pretty sure
Gonna be
you were
watching a
gonna
lot
go
of
with
Chikara?
Starbuck.
I'm not gonna go with Starbuck. I'm not gonna go with Starbuck. But yeah, him versus O'Hara. I watched from May of 2010. O'Hara, not a good professional wrestler in my opinion, but
Who's O'Hara? You just saying the last name?
yes,
The Noah Jr. I assume is who you're talking
Yes.
about. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, he wrestles in a gi, which I guess is cool. But yeah, I decided Kodama is the guy, and everyone should vote for him. We'll see if that pans out on a narrative basis in a month.
What is his best 2CW match? Is it Cheech or Slick Wagner Brown?
Wow, that's such a great question.
Sam's got the
He's
whole
got Joe
library.
Gacy up here too. I didn't see that one.
There you go. That's the one.
That's probably the
That's the
So
one.
yeah, so at first when you said Kodama and like I did not realize you were saying you meant Yusuke Kodama. I should have known you were talking about like Japan Smash, but you mentioned 2CW as well. So I thought you were talking about
Canada
Kodama.
Smash.
No, yeah, you thought I was talking about
I thought you were
Shikara
talking about
Kodama?
Shikara Kodama.
I
That's
also
it.
thought you were
That's
talking
good.
about like Shikara, like the Canadian indie Smash. I did not think you were talking
That's-
about like
That's why I said
Japan
Starbuck.
Smash. And see,
Yeah.
I was going to ask, didn't Starbuck have a match with Tajiri in like 2011 that was pretty good?
You're correct. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
The actual best match he had in 2CW was versus Jay Freddy in Syracuse.
Oh,
So-
man.
I had to pull up
really
my
good.
cage match because I'm like, that's what a
It's
run.
really good.
What a run.
I mean, I
playing
could
in.
see Sam like hanging his, pride on a 2CW Shikara legend.
Did Jay Freddy have a Noah run?
Yeah, Wrestle One run.
Wrestle one. Okay.
Way better.
Yep. Yeah.
Him and Punisher Van Slyke had a tour of Wrestle One.
Oh,
Let me tell you,
tours.
if you want to,
He toured there a bunch.
yeah, he was
times.
like one of the regulars.
That's
Like,
crazy.
towards-
It was such a funny bit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Got
think
an
All
with
Japan-
Tajiri.
Like I thought All Japan bought in weird like imports. Nah, Muto's brain was different, man. Man, rest in peace.
Yeah, one of the most different brained guys.
Well,
Yeah,
that in the end, that's what did him in.
yeah. One moonsault too many.
That's how you get ranked in the top 10 matches of the year. Different brains.
That's right.
Yep. Yep.
Fucking with a different brain.
I would have had it my way.
Different,
you'd have been
different
too.
brains all around.
Man, God bless him. Was that all?
Pretty much.
That's pretty
I think
good.
there was one other Smash match I watched. There was Tajiri versus I don't know who Mentalo is, but he showed up multiple times during this. And I attempted to watch a 3-way scramble bunkhouse death match featuring Mentalo, Masayo Tanaka, and Akira Shoji, but I could not endure. So we'll
Does
assume it was
Smash-
bad.
Does Smash eventually become WNC or are those promotions?
I was gonna be amazed if
Great
anyone
question,
had the
Tanner.
answer right away. If anyone was like, "I got this one."
I want to say it does become WNC,
Because
but
I know
for tax purposes, I'm unsure.
Tajiri has the Finley match. I believe that's in WNC, so they have to be the same promotion, just a different name, right?
Well, I think he hasn't Smash.
He is a Smash match. It's for the Smash title.
Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Fuck.
Get
Fuck.
on it.
Finley
Do you even watch
takes
wrestling?
the title from Starbuck, and he defends it against Tajiri. We all know this.
Oh man, I need to go
Where's
back and watch
Tajiri in your VP 2010s, guys? Where's he at? Think about it. Get back to me.
He probably definitely ranks for me.
That can't be possibly true. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that.
You're right.
He probably, as somebody that has probably watched the most Tajiri All Japan run, yeah, he probably ranks for me.
Outside chance of like a bottom 10 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. He doesn't get high, but definitely like the last quarter of the list, if he makes it at all.
There's a lot of wrestlers out there, Tanner. That's all I'm saying.
There are.
Don't
Some
lock
people
yourself
have
in.
told me. Some people
Don't
have
lock yourself in.
told me. Yeah. Hey, I'm not locked in for nothing. I don't even know if I'm submitting a ballot.
That would be great. That would make me so upset I can't even explain to you.
December's coming quick.
6 months away. All right, so that's.
I'm just not going to show up for the formerly known as Always Be Retainers 2010s. Like, it's going to be scheduled at some point. I don't know when it is for. People are going to start showing up. I just won't be there.
See, I'm not going to be there. But I'm going to say 5 more minutes, guys. I'm on my way.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
No, we're going to schedule the show for 8, and Dan's going to message all of us at 7:59 and say, "Oh, is that tonight?" Yeah,
that's good.
Can't do it.
All right, I guess it's my turn to talk about wrestling. It's a thing I watched. I watched another full show besides Bloodsport.
Whoa!
It's from a company that we all know and love, MLW.
Hell yeah, brother!
And I have something to say here, guys. I have something to say. The show was all right. MLW Anniversary 24.
All right, Court's cooking.
Yeah, Court is cooking.
You got Bobby Fish squashing Adam Priest.
Sure, why not?
Are you serious?
I swear to God. You got Mystico and Star Jr. You got Cruel versus Manders in a bull rope match. And then there's something I need to discuss. I'm asking him live on air. Not Tanner. Fuck you, Tanner. Sam, will you commit now to doing a Talking Tourneys episode on the Opera Cup 2024?
Please.
I'm looking at this. These 3 matches. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, because I was saying, Davey Boy Smith versus Timothy Thatcher? Pretty okay.
I bet.
Akira versus Kwan? Not great. Lock into it.
Bobby Fish versus Kenta? A rematch 13 years in the making?
You gotta get him in. But now, Sam, I forget this. I think this is the literal last episode of Talking Tourneys. Wasn't there like 4 dudes in it last year?
Yes.
Yeah, there's 16 this year.
Holy fuck!
No.
That's a full tournament.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened here?
Why'd you do this to me? I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. David Boy Smith wins his first round match against Thatcher. I want him to make a run to the finals.
Oh man, I should have known this. I did see the post that Tanner referenced of Kenta versus Bobby Fish, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together that there's more of these matches.
You guys heard him on air. He's doing it.
God damn it.
That'd be awesome if the Opera Cup first round match between Bobby Fish and Kenta was just the match for the Opera Cup.
That's some MLW shit right there.
That is some MLW shit. I did not realize the tournament last year only had 4 fucking guys in it. That rocks.
Consistently, it's had like 4 folks in it.
It's got some. I mean, Atlantis Junior's in it. Mystico. I mean, it could be interesting.
I'm looking at
God damn it.
I'm looking at MLW on Cage Match right now, and they ran Alex Kane versus AJ Francis in a ritual combat match.
Oh, were you not on that episode where I covered that?
No, I've heard.
No,
you didn't listen yet, huh?
Oh,
no,
fucking ruled.
Huh.
It's a stupid. The way you win the match is you have to sit on a throne with Mark Henry and Teddy Long, who the racists on the podcast thought was Tony Atlas for some reason, and you have to sit there for 10 seconds without getting touched. It's so stupid.
I love AJ Francis is so funny. I have seen some of his indie matches. I watched AJ Francis versus Cha Cha Charlie before we started this podcast in a call with Kevin from the Bad Wrestling podcast, and I think they will be. I think their next episode is like all AJ Francis post WWE run, and I'm so excited because that AJ Francis versus Cha Cha Charlie match from CCW.
I was gonna say, do you watch a lot of CCW? Because they have some good stuff. They bring in Gangrel a lot. QT Marshall's the champ.
Oh wait, hold on.
I tried to watch one of their shows when I was in Florida, but I couldn't make it work. The family didn't want to leave Disney to go see QT Marshall.
So I watched the cage. They have like a cage match with Cha Cha Charlie and AJ Francis, and every time AJ Francis is climbing the cage, he looks terrified. Like he does not look comfortable climbing the cage at all. It is so funny.
That is so funny. I literally watched some of their anniversary show the same time I watched MLW, like right after MLW's anniversary show, because I guess the YouTube algorithm was like, this guy likes shitty pro wrestling companies' anniversaries.
Yes,
and
you do.
It had Matt Riddle. It had Cha Cha Charlie versus Stallion Rogers. Billy Gunn was on it.
All the stars are here.
They were all there.
At the Unbranded Brewing Company.
How funny would it be if I skipped SCI and instead went to St. Petersburg and went to MLW Blood and Thunder 2024?
I think you have to.
Oh, what's on the card?
We got Jake Christ versus Tom Lawler, Opera Cup first round match. Kenta versus Bobby Fish, Opera Cup first round match. Akumura versus Atlantis Jr., Opera Cup first round match. Minoru Suzuki versus Akira, just a singles match. 3 Stages of Destruction, Matthew Justice versus Madge Cruel Kruger. And then in a no ropes death match, we got Sami Callihan versus Matt Riddle.
Oh my god.
So not a bad match.
I mean that looks on par with the Dean card to me.
I have to bring up Cruel versus Manders in the bull rope match. That sounds like something that I might like. That sounds like something that like is for me. It was so bad. Cruel selling nothing Manders is doing, and then Janai Kai runs out, kicks Manders once in the head, and he's dead. That's the end of the match.
God, that's so...
And it was like
Manders
8 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm seeing Bobby Fish versus Adam Priest went 3 minutes.
Oh, but Selena's pregnant. And for a second, I thought it was Dario who's her father, but I don't think they're going that way. So, like,
they might as well.
Tune in to MLW, guys.
Dude, y'all think we could get Court on the podcast?
I've done it once.
Just to dissect the brain of a living genius.
I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
Please,
I'll
please.
post my interview with him for the comeback of the NWA.
Oh man, that's good. Chris, can I also ask a non-wrestling question real quick, specifically to Chris?
What's up?
Chris, are you doing the hell yeah bit from TikTok of that guy that's like, babe, I just flipped your paycheck for $1,000. Like this is how we live now.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh well, fuck. Okay, sorry.
He's probably stealing my thing.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe he is. What else did you watch, Dan?
Oh, not a whole lot. I watched Freelance and Virus versus Mystico and Hedy, however you say the French guy's last name. And, yep, there it is. And it was really fun. And I got to do like a deep dive back into all the CMLL I missed, because Mystico's just really fun. And I mean, I liked all 4 guys on this match actually. And it wasn't like blow away or anything. It's just like the Mystico atmosphere. It's just awesome. It just adds to every match. And like,
the only stars left.
Yeah, really.
I'm excited to watch that match. Unfortunately, it happened in the month of June.
So you'll get to it in October.
Shut up.
Labor Day weekend. Watch out.
But yeah, that's I just skipped to the main event of that, because I saw that pop up on IWTV, and I was like, I'm really interested in that. And that I think is all the wrestling I watched, except our Big Top.
Bloodsport's not the Big Top.
Oh, Bloodsport's not the Big Top. I forgot there was another Big Top. I'm a great host.
Oh my god, Dan!
I don't love the Big Top, I think, is the problem. But all right, here we go.
Oh my goodness,
that's a good segue.
Well, the good thing about Big Top is I don't think it shouldn't be like that in depth.
Well, I have to think of my answer for Big Top, because I forgot it wasn't Bloodsport till right now. But what'd you guys think about Bloodsport? So many options.
Are we just rolling this thing match by match?
I think we should go match by match.
Okay.
Hey Dan.
What?
Read it. You're hosting.
Well, right now I'm scrolling through Discord to find the Big Top. But okay, let me open up my browser.
Just to give a little peek behind the curtain, Sam yesterday gave like 6 Big Top choices, and we all said, "Yeah, this one sounds good."
Yeah, I added it to my list of what sounds good, but I didn't really love it. I just don't like to be, I didn't want to be the negative guy until we're getting recorded. Then I'll be negative.
Dan, I had so many options.
And I liked all of them.
Your idea was, hey, let's talk about Forbidden Door. That was your big top.
I'm trying to get the
and
numbers.
I was like, go fuck yourself immediately.
Oh, I didn't see earlier you gave us your address. That's pretty cool.
Yes. I just want you guys to dox me real quick.
Right,
yeah, Sam did drop the Zillow listing for his house.
I was right.
I will say nearly double what I paid.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait, I lost it. I'm really good at this hosting. All right.
You found the house, but you can't find.
All right, here we go. Fuminori Abe versus Yu Iizuka. This match was fine. This match was substantially worse than Nick Burke versus Tony Mamaluke. What do you guys think?
I would probably say the same thing. Significantly worse than Nick Burke versus Tony Mamaluke.
Yeah,
it was. I didn't. Yeah, it did not hit for me. Abe was like, it was the curtain jerker for the show. Abe was doing more of the. It was kind of in comedy mode. I didn't think Iizuka looked particularly good in the match.
He's not a very good wrestler, so.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that
his strikes looked bad.
Him and Josh are wrestling on the GLEAT show next week?
I did not see that.
Yeah, Iizuka and Josh are fighting in a UWF rules match. I'm like, interesting. But yeah, it was fine. Abe more comedy than like shoot, and then Iizuka I just don't think is really good. But I mean, it was fine. It was inoffensive. It was like 4 minutes.
All right, and now we get to the first round of the confirmed tournament on the show. Hideki Suzuki versus Hikaru Soto. I know I say all these names wrong. I don't even know your guys' names.
Do you not know how the letter A works?
No, I don't. I was born in West Virginia, man. We didn't cover any of these letters.
Soto.
Listen, I knew there was a tournament. Hey, it's funny. This is a show I really liked. I also didn't like this match.
This match was okay.
Yeah,
it's 5 minutes, so I can't hate it, but it was just nothing.
I think that's we're on people talking about the show of the year or whatever, but I think
it's
when
really
we say of, hey, this is short, so we can't hate it. Goes a long way in this discussion.
Hey, honestly, I thought that even when I got to the end of the show, I'm like, well, there wasn't anything I hated, and even the stuff I didn't like was short.
And that's the thing, like, yeah, pro wrestling sucks, so it's like, well, it's short, pretty good show.
Yeah,
Chris, sorry.
Feels like Hideki is just playing with his food here. Like, he's going to like beat Hikaru Sato. He has no chance. Like, this is Hideki Suzuki in the Bloodsport Bushido tournament. He's not Hikaru Sato. You think this guy has Bushido?
I was honestly surprised they went this long.
Yeah.
Sato fought in Pancrase.
So it's like it's a long bit of kind of feeling like Hikaru Sato is trying to like feel Hideki out a little bit, and Hideki kind of goes with it until he just like starts taking him down, and then Sato has a few like comeback moments, but it's over. This is Hideki. This is the GOAT.
It's also weird that they had this match here, like in like this shoot style setting, and it's just fine. They interact pretty regularly in Tenru Project, and it's usually pretty fucking good. So it just was kind of odd to me. I'm like, these guys couldn't have done better in 8 minutes than they do on a 24-minute Tenru Project 6-man that is in front of like 88 people. Just weird.
The other first round match, is Eric Hammer versus Nomura, and this actually ruled. And I told you guys Eric Hammer would win. I knew he wasn't jobbing the Nomura. It was never going to happen.
Yeah, this was sick.
Yeah, unfortunately, Josh doesn't know ball, so Nomura didn't go over. But yeah, this match fucking ruled.
No, he does know ball. Eric Hammer should have gone over, and he did. It was beautiful.
I want Eric Hammer to wrestle somewhere more frequently after this show.
Does he
I
not?
wish he has more. This more.
He only works Bloodsport.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything besides Bloodsport in like a decade.
Yeah.
All right, Joshy boy, time to ratchet up the frequency of these cards.
And he worked IGF, and then disappeared, and that until Bloodsport started happening, and does not work anything else unless like he works, which I do not think he would, like indies that don't make cage match or anything. Because this guy's not a guy who's working the shindies.
He's not doing it for the love of the game.
And that's why we love Eric Hammer.
Yeah.
That's why we love the hammer. We love the
We'll
Eric.
talk about that later.
Are we talking about that later?
You'll see. You'll see where my head's at.
Hey, can't wait.
But yeah, my 2 cents is this match rocks.
Yeah.
Nomura, I don't care if he went over. It probably just shouldn't have been in the tournament. And I would have liked maybe a little bit more, just something that he could have done. Could have gone over or just been like a force of nature.
Well,
but it is
to be
whatever.
fair, this wasn't going to be in the tournament until the 2 guys pulled out. Like they weren't even supposed to wrestle each other. So
yeah, exactly. True.
Yeah.
True. I can't remember who subbed in and out.
Yes, I can remember who it was.
I think it was supposed to be Hammer and American Gladiator, the Mike O'Hearn guy.
Nomura versus Todd Duffy.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be the 2 matches, which I would rather have Nomura on a card than not, but it does seem weird that like Nomura is at least like a fairly prominent name now in as far as like Japanese indies go. I mean, he wrestles a lot in All Japan and Big Japan and stuff. But it's just really funny. It's like, all right, here's this guy that wrestles 3 times a year. He's going to win in 3.5 minutes with a powerbomb.
He wrestles 3 times a year and wins all of the matches.
Yeah, it's good. Let me ask y'all this: is this a low key Hoot of the Year contender?
I don't have an issue with it, but I feel like people are going to yell about it.
I want to say no. I mean, I guess by definition, low key, sure. Like, it can be in the conversation. If it was on a document, I would not brush it off immediately. Knowing you and your brain, I would have to.
This is not the match from this card that I would nominate for Hoot of the Year.
Ooh.
I actually asked that question because it has the makings of what a Hoot of the Year to me is. And I don't think it's there. Despite me really liking it and it having all the parts of a Hoot of the Year, there's just something missing that I was like, just not hooty enough.
Okay.
There's no blow.
The reference document for what is a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right,
that's why we need Skylar.
Yes, that's who I was thinking who would yell. But the next match is Konami versus Fukuda, and I didn't watch this.
I was about to say you didn't watch this match.
I didn't even think about
It
it.
was a good match. It was a good match.
You didn't watch it either, Sam?
No, I didn't watch this match.
It was a good match.
You didn't, so I didn't feel bad.
The people who call this a bad match are wrong. This is a good match.
I don't think it's a bad match. I think it was the worst match on the card.
Whoa,
No,
that must have sucked.
no,
It's still fine.
no. There's a spot where they're like going out of the ring, and Konami transitions into like a single leg crab on Fukuda, which is one of the sickest spots on this entire show. Like, it's a little rough around the edges, but it's got some really sick submissions and some Fukuda has some good kicks. It's a fun match. It's a good match. It's
it's fine.
I can't wait to check it out. All right, next match: Funaki versus Davey Boy Smith.
Oh man,
Dan's a hater. You know, I don't know if you have
as the respecter of women on this podcast. I had to say my piece.
Listen, if they want to come over to Shikara for King of Trios, I'll check it out. All right, next match: Funaki versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. They gotta pull it together.
Finish is cool.
Yeah, this really was a letdown for me.
I think.
See, I think I was pleasantly surprised, but I sometimes hate Davey Boy Smith.
So here's my thing with Davey Boy Smith. I think if you're going to be so noticeably on the gas, you should be a better wrestler.
Exactly. I wish he was the wrestler he thinks he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Ain't that the truth?
And some of the stuff he's been in this year has been good. He's in a couple of tags early in the year in All Japan that I think are like pretty good.
I wasn't joking. I like that Thatcher match from MLW.
No, I didn't think you were joking.
Yeah, okay, it was good.
But yeah, he's such like a hot and cold guy with me. But like even when he's hot with me, I'm like, oh, okay, 3.5.
Yeah, and like I love Funaki. Love Funaki. It just doesn't seem like he was really feeling it. And so when you've got a guy like Davey Boy, I'm just like, I have no strong feelings about Davey Boy Smith Jr. I should say. Yeah. Davey Boy Smith Jr. And so when you've got Funaki kind of checked out against Davey Boy and they're going like 7 minutes, it's just kind of, it's not offensive. But it's like, it's a match where when it's done, you're just like, oh, maybe Funaki should have just put Davey Boy out in like 4 minutes, like sub 4 minutes. And it would have been like something a little more fun. But yeah, it just didn't feel like he was feeling very inspired, and it just kind of went on and blah.
All right, so good time to take stock of where we're at with the card as far as the show of the year is going. One match we all liked.
I don't think anybody called it show of the year.
Well, then I'm talking to all the
he's getting ahead of it.
Numbskulls on Discord and Twitter. Then.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not on Twitter. I forgot. So Eric Hammer versus Nomura, the one match we feel like universally really good. Everything else ranges from fine to all right, it seems like.
So there was a good match there. There was Konami and versus Fukuda. That was a good match.
Well, Tanner, notorious softy here, hated it.
I didn't hate it.
Literal drizzling shits. Is what he said.
I just said it was the worst match on the card. On a card full of just fine to great stuff.
Do you guys think Natty Neidhart will work Bloodsport?
Oh, we can only hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
All right, I have so many questions about Bloodsport going forward after this review is done. Dan, take it away.
Yeah, Dan.
All right, next match. Quentin Jackson versus the other guy, Hideki Sakin. It was good.
He's called Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought.
Shrek around these parts.
See, I think we were this whole show. I thought we said this would be either the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever. And I thought this was fine. It's like kind of exactly what Quentin Jackson doing pro wrestling would look like, I guess.
No, this is Hoot of the Year.
I wanted to feel that. I felt
man.
nothing watching it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no firmly on that one.
Yeah, it's not Hoot of the Year. I also agree. I definitely thought this match would be super bad or just fucking great, and it landed right in the middle where I'm just like, huh. I thought it was really odd that the main, like, so the match goes like 4 minutes. I thought it was weird that the main spot they were trying to pull off on the card was, at least on English commentary, which I did watch the first half of the show with English commentary because it was the only copy I could get my hands on. They were like, oh, Rampage, notorious for the powerbomb finish. And I'm just like, okay. And he definitely tries to get Shrek up a few times, but Shrek's a large fellow. And
he's a big dude.
He's not getting him. 2024 Rampage Jackson is not getting anybody probably half of Shrek's size up for a power bomb from a fucking triangle choke position. And it's just so weird that English commentary, which, by the way, probably the worst commentary I've heard on a show all year. I would have rather any U.S. shindy commentary team to have done the English call for Bloodsport versus these Noah guys. Because holy fuck, was it bad? It was two dudes reading like Wikipedia for the guys the whole time.
It was Mr. Pickle.
I would say, isn't this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Wrestle Universe Noah English team, and they were just literally like spending whole matches just reading accolades. Like they were not calling the match at all. It was fucking atrocious.
I watched the Japanese commentary. It's all up on YouTube for free if you know where to look.
But I mean, this was what I was saying would be the Hoot of the Year candidate from this card. I'm not saying it is, but it hits more of the boxes.
Yeah,
just because Rampage is like visibly gassed seconds into the match.
Yeah, before the bell rings.
It's a weird sight where like Shrek is not like the weirdest. He's not like the showcase. He's not like the obscurity, or not. That's not the right word, but you know where I'm getting at. Like, because like Rampage obviously is he's the reason you're here.
Yeah, and
so for him to be like Shrek to kind of be working from under is such a weird thing, considering all of like his other matches that I've seen. Really fascinating, but shout out to Rampage getting the win and immediately like popping open the energy drink.
Just
that was
chugging
sick.
that energy drink, yeah,
that was awesome. I mean, the finish did rock. With the fucking stomp finish ruled.
I think my biggest issue with Rampage is it looked like he was shadowboxing the entire match.
Yes.
It was just deeply frustrating to watch him do that. At least give me the old Bob Sapp treatment, where it looks like you're swinging for the fences.
Yeah,
but also like a pillar.
Shrek actually fights. I mean, you could have connected a couple. Like Shrek fought in like Ryzen last year.
Yeah, but I don't think Rampage wants to fight or do anything physical. He's thinking about that long plane ride home.
Rampage ain't ready for that comeback.
Yeah.
He ain't taking no receipts on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Moving on from the Hoot of the Year. So this show again. Show of the Year, doing great. Sakuraba versus Santino Marella.
Great match.
This was awesome. I agree. This was great.
This is an awesome match. This was my favorite match of the card.
This was my second favorite match on the card, yeah.
Yeah, this is my second favorite as well, but it was really good. There was only upsetting thing is Ishikawa was seconding Santino, and it's like, why is he not on this show?
What? Yeah,
he's there just hanging out.
That Ishikawa seconded.
He's just vibing.
Well, that's like what they bought out Fujiwara in the middle of the show. I think didn't
Fujiwara Maeda?
Yeah, come out as well. Fucking open the bag, Josh. Stop being a fucking pussy and book these guys. What are we doing? Like, you just have all-timers sitting on the sidelines, and you're telling me we have to give fucking Davey Boy Smith Jr. a spot?
I think maybe it would have been a little tough to book, but Ishikawa's still going. There's no reason.
Fujiwara's wrestled this year.
Yeah, he's like 70-something.
Yeah, he's wrestled this year. That May tape. Like, last month. I mean, very recently. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But yeah, this match rocked. I didn't realize Santino was 50. Did anybody else realize that?
I don't think I knew how old he was.
The age difference between Santino and Sakuraba is only 4 years, which seems
Okay.
incorrect.
That is funny, yeah.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, it was like, because this was the last match I watched the English commentary for before I finally saw the Japanese went up. And they were like, yeah, Sakuraba 54, living legend. Santino 50. And I went, what the fuck?
Also living legend.
Yeah. It was so, oh my God, it was so stupid though, because they kept going over Santino's, like, again, these guys were just setting accolades. They were like, Santino successfully defended the U.S. title against Cody Rhodes in 2012. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Shut up!
I don't know.
These guys were pissing
Yeah,
me off.
this is where you like highlight that Santino, like, before any of that he did judo and he was in battle arts.
They did mention that Santino was in battle arts before taking WWE by storm and winning the Intercontinental title.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match
Did not mention that he worked in TNA currently at all the entire time.
Super fun match. Sakuraba
Got it.
still got it. He hasn't wrestled a ton this year. So this was nice to check back in on an old friend and see that he still had it, cuz he only worked 3 matches last year, and this is his 3rd match this year.
Did Sakuraba for real only work 3 times last year?
If cage match is to be believed.
That's crazy. I mean, because Pandemic Noah, he was like basically a full timer.
Yeah. He was working
shows
very regularly in Pandemic Noah.
He worked the fucking N1 in 21 or 22. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
he was awesome in it.
Yeah, no, that Shiozaki match fucking rules. He takes off the gi and says, "Chop me, motherfucker." Oh my God, come on.
Yeah,
man.
one of the most consistent wrestlers ever.
Oh yeah, just an all-timer athlete.
No exception here. Like, even if this, like, and not to discredit Santino, because it takes 2 guys to tango, and he looks great here too. Yep. But Sakuraba, as like in a shoot style fight against a guy that if it was an actual shoot, he would just win in seconds. Like, to take this to a 10-minute match, like, really, really awesome stuff.
Oh,
I thought it was good.
I've seen every Sakuraba match this year. I'm looking at his cage match. I've actually watched all 3 of these. Interesting.
All right.
Cool.
Next match, Minoru Suzuki versus Timothy Thatcher. What you think about this one, Sam?
I thought this was good.
You don't mind if I take a nap?
I don't know. I don't have any strong thoughts. Like, it feels like a Suzuki match, but I think Thatcher is as good as anyone of playing off that sort of temperament. So, good match. Like, don't love it.
Suzuki respects Thatcher enough to not fuck around, but sometimes Suzuki would just fuck around because he's bored.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It was like Suzuki. It was a Suzuki US Indie match, but if he respected his opponent, Suzuki and Thatcher had a match in OTT years ago that I thought was fine. I thought this was a little better. Does help that Thatcher gets a little color on the back, gets a really gnarly looking gash that bleeds a decent amount about halfway through the match. And it does, I mean, again, like anything with this show, it doesn't overstay its welcome, but I thought it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed this match.
All right, any thoughts, Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just jolted awake.
Oh, you're fine.
Not really.
Okay. All right.
I
Bloodsport Bushido tournament final. Hideki Suzuki versus Eric Hammer.
Now that's a match.
A good one?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was about at the level of Hideki Sato in the first round. Turns out I like this Eric Hammer fella when he's working really explosive 3, 4, 5 minutes. I think that's what him and Hideki should have done here, especially since they both worked prior in the night. I don't understand why they had the match they did.
That's got to be Eric because Hideki would have loved the win in 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should have just thrown bombs at each other for 3 or 4 minutes, really get the crowd, loud and into it. But yeah, I thought it was good. Nothing spectacular to write home about.
No, actually really enjoyed this match. Like maybe it was just because I do love Hideki, and to see him work a respectable promotion like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport instead of All Japan Pro Wrestling against Eric Hammer, who can take anyone from All Japan Pro Wrestler and put them down. And like I was into Hideki, like trying to like grind Eric Hammer out a little bit more. I can see the argument for a more bombs based match, but I guess that's just going to have to be the main event for Bushido too, because this was obviously a roaring success that sold a lot of tickets, so it's going to happen.
Now this is like
I thought Hideki Suzuki counter to power bomb multiple times was very funny, where he just gets into a lay handstand. That was a highlight of the match for me, as he does it like 3 different times.
I think it was a
Ain't
fun
no fooling
novelty that Hideki was working somebody his size, because he really never works somebody that is as big or as tall as him. And
Yeah,
I thought that was an interesting dynamic.
Did you watch Champion Carnival this year? I know you were talking about it.
It's on my list. But I have not watched it.
This is me just as we guys are talking like cage match surfing. It's crazy. Hideki lost clean the Lord Crew.
Yeah,
under 6
Hideki-
minutes.
Oh my God!
And I looked at the
Yeah.
finish. I looked at the finish. He clean as a sheet. Beats him.
Yeah, no, Hideki's been taking a lot of falls in All Japan. I don't know how much fucking money they're throwing his way.
That's crazy.
But he just lost a Triple Crown match. He challenged for the Triple Crown a couple of days ago and lost, from my knowledge, clean to Yuma Anzai.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And I've heard that was a really good match. I really like Yuma, so I'll definitely go back and watch it. But yeah, no, Hideki's been doing like pretty regular jobs in All Japan.
Shameful.
No, I agree. Like if not for Yuma Anzai, I think he should definitely be the guy that's holding the title in that company. But
Yeah, and I'm
he's
glad
been dicking around with
Josh
Suwama all year.
made the right move here and put Hideki over. Eric Hammer finally gets defeat in Bloodsport history after going undefeated for
It's
years.
gonna be followed up on in subsequent blood sports too. So that's what's awesome. About
Yeah, exactly.
Do you
It's the
think?
story. It's the
do you
storytelling.
Do you think this will be non-canon though? Like he was like, oh well, Eric's undefeated in Bloodsport, but however, he did have a loss in Bloodsport Bushido against Hideki Suzuki. You don't think?
Well, they could if it was like assuming this is just GCW Bloodsports, they can just say he's undefeated in GCW.
Yeah, I guess they could. Because I don't know if you were being sarcastic earlier, but this show did have like 6,300 people in attendance, I think. So like, I think they definitely will run another one.
Did it really?
Now this is
I don't
like
know.
a weird comparison, but maybe it could be like Eric Hammer has like a Chris Hero losing in Highland, like losing streak every time Eric Hammer comes to Japan, he loses, but he dominates in America.
Okay, well, Cage Match has since removed the attendance figure for this show, so maybe it didn't do
I was going to say like Noah at Ryogoku last month did like 3,500, and I don't think
I was picturing the crowd too. I was like, man, they really spread them out.
Yeah,
like I don't think this show outsold a Noah show.
But New Japan did 6,700 in April.
Yeah, I don't think this is doing comparable numbers to Sakura Genesis.
And then
Even with
I don't think
Eric Hammer.
I don't think a show main evented by Naito probably like now that like almost undeniably now that Okada is in an American promotion, the biggest draw in Japan, I don't think he's doing comparable numbers.
yeah, you're probably right. I don't know why they had a 60. They definitely had a 6,300 number up here because I remember when I was watching the show on Sunday, I'm like,
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
I was like 6,300. I was like,
I'm glad you pounced on
lot
that,
of
Chris,
people.
because I would just
No,
let it go,
because
like, whatever.
I definitely wasn't going to go back and double check. But yeah, I'm looking at Cage Match and they
Yeah, you
taken
can-
the attendance figure off.
If you went back and double checked, it would not take you very long to realize that is not a legitimate number.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did more than that Noah show though. That wouldn't surprise me. Just from the fact of having Mox on the card.
He is the IWGP champion
That is true.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
Speaking of that, main event: John Moxley versus Josh Barnett. What is everyone thinking?
I fucking love this match. I thought this match blows their first match out of the water. Personally,
I love it too. I want to guess right away. How do you guys feel about the spot that precedes the blade job?
it rules. I don't understand why Mox bladed on the wrong side.
Why did he blade at all? He got hit in the guardrail on his abdomen.
Yeah. I mean, this is
It hit his stomach.
So,
it comes
I
out
mean,
with his
it
head
makes-
bleeding. I love this match. It's so nitpicky, but like that was really upsetting. It really.
I'm glad you're not the one, or I'm not the one to bring it up, Dan. But I mean, like, it is a thing with Moxley. It is a thing with Moxley where he will, like, he does sick blade jobs, and we love him for that.
Yes.
But they don't always make sense.
I just don't understand
Like,
why you couldn't just
he is a guy
stand
who
up.
will blade off a sling blade.
Yeah, just stand up and have Barnett do it again, or have him throw you into the post on the outside. Like,
Well, so I think. So I
think he
was
bladed-
discussing with some friends, and our theory was, Mox maybe wanted the spot to like be a little bit closer to the head, and Barnett was just like, "What the fuck, no."
See, I honestly think it was just a miscalculation. I also think Mox went a little too deep because immediately after the cut, like Barnett starts targeting the cut, which makes me think that Mox just went a little too deep with the blade and gets this gnarly fucking gash and just has like an all-timer blade job. And it doesn't come across as well. But I also think that's why I'm not so nitpicky about it, because like he is just fucking gushing for the rest of the match.
Oh, it
awesome,
looks
yeah.
great. It adds to the match. It's just it's a thing with Moxley.
Yeah.
That he will do a sick blade job, but how we get there does not always make sense. And it's a sick spot too, even.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great spot.
Yep.
But the transition is you go, huh? And then you get back into the match, and it's very enjoyable. It's a very good match. This is easily Barnett's best performance since the original Moxley Bloodsport match.
Oh, easy.
He looked great. He looked great.
Yeah, Barnett actually like looked really good in this match. Like, I mean, credit to Moxley, obviously. I mean, we all have very high opinions on Mox, but Barnett, I think, held his end of the deal here very well. And I think it bothered me more that Mox just bladed on the wrong side of his head. Like, that would have hit the fucking ring post.
Do you guys think this is better than the Chris Dickinson match?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question. I would have to rewatch the Dickinson match.
That's what
I
I'm
would
thinking.
I would say sight unseen, this is the second best Bloodsport match ever. Just
Well,
behind,
Whoa.
I feel like no.
just behind Mox Busick. I would say this is number 2.
I would not put this higher than Takeda Gresham.
This wasn't even your favorite match on the show.
That's so unbelievably real.
Am I wrong?
No,
I said hard.
No, Tanner said Sakuraba Santino was his second favorite.
was my second favorite on the show.
I was like, I would think I was the only person that said that was my favorite match on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Mox Barnett's in my top 10 for the year.
I think it was so cool to see. You know what? Mox is this kind of wrestler, I guess, broadly speaking, but a top guy being that willing to. He just pretty much gets his ass beat for large swaths of this match. Like, this is really Barnett mauling Moxley for
awesome.
pretty much the entire time.
Yeah.
Up until the finish, which is probably my main quibble. Is like, I don't think Mox has the offense really to do the kill shot. Like, his fucking Tiger Driver looking like ass.
I would, because it was a shoot Tiger Driver.
True. There you go, Tanner. There you go. Doing the shoot Tiger Driver that looks like ass.
Did you really think the Tiger Driver looked bad? I didn't think it looked any worse than any other Tiger Driver. I mean, I think a Tiger Driver is a hard move to pull off anyways to make it look good. But I think in the setting, it's just weird enough.
I don't think this is not a scale of Tiger Drivers. This is just, in general, the move looks booty.
Yeah. Most of
So regardless of most Tiger Drivers look like booty, this one also looked like booty.
Because
I would have liked. No, it's just like Barnett was cooperative, and like that's the whole thing.
If I tried to hit you with the Tiger Driver, like, I could do it, and it probably wouldn't look good, but it'd be sick.
No, but like that, it kind of broke that mentality. It's like they've done all. This match is very pro wrestling. This is not like straight up shoot style by any means at all. But the way that move kind of landed with me, it's like, I don't think Moxley's been absolutely destroyed the entire match. I would have liked something with a little bit more juice behind it to wrap this bad boy up, especially if it's pretty much like, hey, I'm going to come out the gates with 3 moves essentially and finish this off.
Yeah, I think like that, the finish is probably my biggest qualm, and one of the reasons I prefer Moxley Barnett 1. It's close, I think. It's close between them, but they're both great matches.
It doesn't help that this show, even the matches that we say are fine, there's like 4 matches that we say, well, the match is fine, but the finish is really great.
Yeah.
And this is almost the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah.
Barnett's grappling was so good in this match. So good.
Yeah, no. Barnett was extremely sick in this match. The Moxley blade job, as gratuitous as it was, I still think adds a lot to the match of him just bleeding buckets for about half of it. And I don't know. Go ahead.
I think it's Barnett kind of going for it with the blade job that they sealed it in for me.
Oh no, I completely agree. I think Barnett doing what he does as Mox's bleeding buckets fucking rocks. I would argue and say I liked Barnett more in this match than Mox. I don't know. It just really hit all the right spots for me. If anything, like I do agree with the finish. I rarely say this about a match, I think it could have used a couple more minutes. Like if they were going to a 5-minute like overdraw, I think they only went like a minute and a half into it. Like I think they could have drawn it out a little bit more. Like it, but I also too think this is setting up for a third match. Like, I think they're going to have a rubber match.
Where?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
I think. And Mox
Which
was
one?
awesome
I couldn't.
after the
I had a
match,
hard
too.
time pulling this card up on Cage Match.
Oh yeah, but this is in wrestling in Japan freelance shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
not where I thought I was gonna be.
Now, did you guys see the breaking news for the next Bloodsport card?
no.
Shayna Baszler coming back.
Cool. I really.
I'm just
liked her
trying
match.
to break some news here. All right.
No, I liked Shayna's match on the first one. They should do Shayna versus Josh.
So is our man Josh taking the pride route here? Quite literally, I guess, with the Bushido.
Oh
card?
my god. Yeah, no, 1,000%. I think that's why you got. I think that's why we're saying all the finishes rocked. It was because all the finishes were very like Prime Pride esque, of like Rampage with the foot stomps, like really gnarly like knee bars, a sudden strike ending the match. Like I definitely think it's definitely supposed to be a Pride flavor. Like I think this show felt more different than the U.S. Bloodsport shows.
So that is not what I meant, but I dig it. I'm with it. I more so meant Pride creating, I think it's Bushido, the series of shows
Yeah,
that
it's like
we're on a separate numbering system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the next. I think when Josh runs another one in Japan, that will be Bloodsport Bushido 2 and not be canon to the other Bloodsports.
That's why I'm very perplexed when I saw, the next one's called 11. Not 12. I was like, okay, I guess this is just a different thing.
It's like ICW No Holds Barred, rest in peace. How the Pit Fighter shows are different from the Volume shows.
Yep.
Is that officially dead?
Who knows? Who's to say?
Dude, Danny ran out of money. They're
They're not currently running.
They should do Danny versus Josh on one of these shows.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh should start booking the what's that place called?
Shinjuku face.
Oh.
Exactly, bingo. Just run that for every show, and just run these like 15 times a year.
I mean, that's what Fighting the was.
Or run Shinkaba.
Yeah, Shinkaba first ring would be good. I mean, I think a show like this in Korakuen, I mean, obviously this show costs more than, a Korakuen show should cost, but I think running one of these in Korakuen would be a fucking home run. Just don't spend, 10 grand on Rampage Jackson.
Who would be the coolest person from Pride that isn't Fedor or Crow Cop that you would want to see
Dan
on a Bushido? Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Don Fry. I meant Don Fry.
Okay.
I was like,
there we go.
Oh man, that's tough.
I mean, it's probably just one of the weird guys Sakuraba went like 30 minutes with, right? Like that Carlos guy from like Pride 3 or whatever.
Is that Carlos Newton you're calling a weird guy?
Or just like a guy a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of wrestling people wouldn't know that guy off the top of their head.
Deeply disrespectful of you.
I'm calling it like I see it. Calling it like I see it. But no, Josh Mox is definitely happening again. Probably WrestleMania weekend, if I had to guess. God willing.
Okay.
Do you have an answer for your Pride question, Sam? I thought you might have a good one, like loaded, ready to go.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess I was just curious, like, where we see the direction of Bloodsport going. Like, is Barnett really up his fucking ass here? Is he just he's going full hog here? What's going on? Or
do you think we're getting?
Yeah, we're getting Wanderlei Silva in Bloodsport.
Because my guy's booking Santana versus Homicide and calling it Bloodsport.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just given name rights to GC Dub, and he's like, Bushido's my thing, and
I would prefer that.
anything else you can. Sure.
I could see that because I mean it's definitely like Ledette/Glee like bankrolled this show, obviously.
I don't
Like,
even know why I would say this because it'll never happen, but like it would be cool in a world where they're running Bloodsport shows in America that are very different from the Bushido shows and then eventually get crossover.
What side does Eric Hammer represent?
We don't
Can he
know.
win the
We
big
don't-
one in Japan?
Man, I don't know. I do want to harken back on. I know y'all were joking earlier about people calling this a show of the year, but in 2024, I mean,
No.
all four of us watched a full show. This went less than 3 hours and had what 9, 10, 11 matches, something like that, and like not, in my opinion, not a bad match on the card, and ended with a match of the year contender. Like in 2024, does that not make a show of the year contender? I mean, to be fair,
Dean has been.
I don't think any show. I think every show like in a show of the year, contender right now is fighting for number 2. I don't think there's going to be a show that happens on this planet this year better than Dean for my taste. But could I see somebody putting Bloodsport Bushido in like a 3 spot or a 5 spot? Yeah. I mean, it's an inoffensive show, super easy watch, has a couple of great matches, depending on what you think of the Santino Sakuraba match, the main event. I know a bunch of people really, really like Nomura Hammer match. So, I mean, all accounts, it probably is a show of the year contender. Just, I mean, it is not just like a top to bottom incredible show.
I think it like warrants conversation. It will probably warrant conversation at the year's end, and we'll see what else has happened.
Okay, you guys heard me.
Like there will be CMLL shows. There will be
Triple Mania.
Yeah, Triple Mania, obviously. Like we'll see how the SCI plays out and like what happens with that and like
they're
other indie shows.
Abe Nomura's doing another Fighting Detectives, so
like AEW, for as many issues there are on the week to week TV and the booking, I have largely enjoyed their pay-per-views. So I could see one of their pay-per-views really standing out. So we'll see.
Sure.
I mean, you guys heard me say those Japanese names and even American names, so I don't want to pretend to say the CMLL show that had the 8-man tag with the Bullet Club or Blackpool Combat Club, but that show blows the show away. Like I can't even I don't know. There's just so much of the show that's just we just said, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm just talking from the perspective. I guess I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, dumb people are gonna say that WWE's good to watch too. What are we doing? Why are we talking about that?
Well, I don't think it's like a dumb person thing to.
No, I think if you think
watch
it's a show, I don't think it's dumb to watch a show. I think if you think it's show of the year, I think you're a little dumb.
You're an idiot, right?
Yeah,
Hey, you're an idiot. That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah, you're fucking stupid.
If you were
Get locked
telling me
in.
Turn this
this
off.
was your show of
Don't
the
listen in
year,
the future. Still download it. Don't ever listen again. Pissed off now.
Get him.
Like I think if you were to tell me this is your number 1 show of the year, I'm like, congratulations, you have watched one professional wrestling show in the year. I do think it warrants conversation in the year 2024. Getting all 4 of us to watch a full show and not a bad thing on the card, I think it does warrant some sort of discussion that I'm sure we will have in 6 months' time.
And I'll still be talking about how Mox bladed off of a gut shot. All right, you guys ready for Big Top?
I really love this. We'll do it. Okay, so should that just been Big Top? Should we just call it and move to questions? Yeah.
Because we
all right.
I was right. That was Big Top. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm ready for Big Top. I'm ready for real Big Top.
I freaking wrote down
Big Top will do next week.
I wrote down 3 answers for you sons of bitches. Why we're doing that? All right.
You're
cutting out, but I don't want to hear you yell at me. All right, so now we get to the wacky line.
I guess it's time for the wacky line.
Let's do it. All right. This is the one. I'm not sure which one you guys wanted, but I know you wanted one of these two. Which wrestler you think pisses the loudest? And follow up to that, which wrestler shits the loudest? Sam?
Pisses the loudest, Eric Hammer.
Oh,
He's got a hammer.
Good answer.
Bring it back. So, folks, if you were listening earlier, I said we're going to talk about it later. We're talking about it later. Those folks are clued in. I love it. Shit's the loudest. I need a little time for shit's the loudest. I have thoughts. Like, I would say all-timer, Viscera. I don't...
Oof.
Oh,
That's
I
a
know
loud
it smells
shit.
crazy in there.
So, there's a lot of reverb happening on that one. But I think I need to give it a little bit more thought.
I'm like Sam. I pretty immediately had a piss the loudest answer, and that's gonna go to Feed Me More Ryback.
Oh, that's a powerful stream.
Yeah, I just also knowing he was taking Cialis to impress, the boys in the back. I think that shit reverbing off the wall. I don't even think that's making it in the toilet. And I think there are visible piss stains in several arenas across this great nation.
I do have an answer for a question that wasn't asked. Pisses the quietest, The Rock, into a bottle when no one's looking.
That's true.
Yeah.
Man.
I wish. Now I really should have taken mental notes of all the times I've pissed next to professional wrestlers, because I could talk about, like, I could have an answer of what I know from my personal experience, but I never took note of how loud they were pissing.
Shit the loudest, I'm gonna go Jimmy Lloyd.
A man that I have pissed next to on multiple occasions.
Stop
Yeah,
bragging.
I just something about him, like, yeah,
We're
maybe shit stinkiest.
when Rikishi is getting in that stall, I am getting out. I am heading for the hills.
I think it's unfair to just assume a fat guy does shit the loudest.
I'm looking here, and it looks like for 1995, Mandy Rose will let us hear how loud she shits. So we're good.
Whoa, what? Is that true?
There. I have no idea.
Link it, brother. Link it, brother.
So as we mentioned last week, the GoFundMe will be going live at the end
No.
of tonight. Not to say what our $3,000 would go towards.
All right.
But we're gonna have sound bites for days on this show.
These questions are all so good. Which wrestler
Can
should
I
come?
just say we got a great? Sorry.
Yeah, our fans are awesome. Our
Yeah.
listeners, our fans. Well, they're gonna be wearing our names on their backs pretty soon, so they're fans.
Yeah, our Dan Rice jersey.
Which wrestler should come out to the ring on horseback? No cowboy gimmicks. Eric Hammer.
We're not telling people who's asking these questions.
I don't. PTO
We gotta
time.
give the audience, if they're giving us questions, we gotta respect them
Yeah,
enough.
you
to
were-
say,
I'm a great host. The first question was from @FightBoys Show, Scott
boys with a Z.
with a Z because he's cool.
It's cool.
I put Boys with a Z on almost every podcast description of this fine show. This question's from @PTO time. Which wrestler should come to the ring on horseback? No cowboy gimmicks.
Big Show.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
No BS. Paul White. Dude, Shaq rode a horse. Why can't Big Show ride a horse?
But did the horse like it?
I mean, no. I think Shaq talked about in the interview he had to retire the horse. But I do think Paul White on a horse would be funny. My real answer is Atsushi Onita. Before a death match, before like a barbed wire death match, riding to the
I don't
ring
know why,
on
but that makes me
horseback.
want to cry. That's beautiful.
Like, dude, y'all saw it. He's wrestling in fucking Kawasaki Stadium, and he's getting the fucking city of Kawasaki to pay for the show as part of their 100th, like their centennial.
Fuck yeah.
And he's wrestling Dory Funk Jr.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't even
no.
want Dory Funk getting on a plane.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Dory Funk said, if I read it right, Dory Funk said it's going to be his last time in Japan because he's fucking 83. but the show is taking place on the anniversary of Terry Funk's death. And they're wrestling. I want to say it's a straight up singles, but it could very well be a 6-man tag. But I believe I saw it was going to be a singles match.
Give me like if he was still masked, I would say Wotan. Like Wotan should have shown up for his Apuestas mask or match riding a horse.
And the horse should have also been wearing
for one final ride. Like that's a good like thing to do for your Apuestas match or your potential retirement match is to come out on a horse because it might be your last ride.
God, fuck, that's so good. How many has there ever been a wrestler not doing a cowboy gimmick come to the ring on a horse?
There's gotta be.
I mean, surely, right? I mean, that just seems like an easy home run, right? I should look into this.
So, unfortunately, I do think luchadors have like a leg up on this question for me. So, like every time I think of a cool one, it's like Mystico, El Hijo del Santo, the dudes.
Yeah,
and the horse is also wearing a mask.
Exactly. Oh man, that's
also, Mystico.
Why do you want to kill the horse, Tanner? Every suggestion.
A horse wearing a mask?
How can we make it more difficult for the horse to breathe or stand up?
Cut out the eyes and the nose for the horse. Jesus. They already have to wear a fucking guard in their mouth. It wouldn't be that much more. Just a little bit of cloth.
Like Mystico riding a horse. I feel like that happening in Mexico City, everyone in that arena would just immediately be raptured to heaven.
I will tell you right now, if I was in Arena Mexico and I saw Mystico come out on a horse, I would shit my pants on the spot.
How loudly?
Yeah, straight doo-doo. I'd probably be in the top 5 loudest shits ever in Arena Mexico.
Have you heard Mystico's pop? No one's hearing you shit. You're fine.
No, I'd make sure it was people heard it.
Okay. I'm gonna skip PTO's second question because I don't care.
No, we should save some of these. I don't think we have to go through all of them.
No, but I like this one. From Eamon.
Oh. Go ahead.
Is that not the one you wanted? Do you want a different one?
I was going to say the one that was put in the Discord earlier in the VP updates
channel. That is a good one. We'll do that one. We'll save this other one. I don't know where it was.
You actually had 2 questions.
But it was what's everyone's go-to soup, right?
Yes.
That's a good question. All right, let's hear it. Tanner, you're excited about soup. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is from Fool.
Yeah, this is from Fool in the Discord, which...
Who doesn't like Terry Funk, I believe is. So I'm not going to say his name.
I should mention, because I don't think we mention it every week. If you want to send in a question to the Wacky Line, there's 3 ways to do so. You can message me on Discord. You can DM the violent_people account on Twitter. Or you can actually email violentpeopleorg@gmail.com.
Or if you want to send a written letter, Sam gave me his address here. It is...
Yeah, if you want to send Sam a written letter, you can also do that. Favorite soup. So I was actually having this conversation the other day because my wife has decided we should just skip summer and go straight to fall, which with this weather, I completely agree.
Impossible.
I do agree with. After everybody takes their summer vacation, I think we should just skip right to fall. I don't think there's any need for the month of August. But I would say my go-to soup. Are we counting a chili as a soup in this scenario?
No, chili is not soup.
Chili is not soup. So I'm also gonna... Yeah, no, that's definitely not soup then. I guess I want to go with like a simple... My wife makes a really good wonton soup. I think I would go with wonton soup, honestly.
I'm a chicken and wild rice guy.
Okay, so
okay,
it's a consistent pick.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Where I've never had it be bad. I mean, even if you go to Panera on their worst day, you're still gonna like it.
Dude, Panera's broccoli and cheddar. Can we talk about that for a second? They cooked something there.
They cooked the soup.
Yeah.
Maybe the bread
that broccoli
too.
That broccoli and cheddar. Even the one you buy in the store, not even at Panera. You go to a fucking Publix and get it. Very good soup.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a New England clam chowder.
I like a clam chowder too, but I was just thinking right now would be the worst time in the world to eat it. I was just picturing sitting outside eating a clam chowder.
Yeah, it's not. Unfortunately, this is not soup season.
It's not.
Yeah.
And I love soup season. I love soup. But I'm a big chowder head. I also
had clam chowder one time, believe it or not.
I also love a lobster bisque.
Oh,
I'm a big like seafood soup guy, I guess, because I love clam chowder and lobster bisque would be my top two. But you also just can't go wrong with like a regular, like just a tomato soup and some grilled cheese. That's living. That's living.
Yep. That's some high class shit. Are we counting gumbo as a soup? Because I would maybe change my answer to gumbo. Chris got me thinking with the seafood talk, and I've never have had a bad.
I mean, I do love gumbo.
A good cup of gumbo over some white rice. Get some crackers, some club crackers.
Oh man, or
some.
Woo! I mean, it can. I guess it. Like you can. Like, I've seen seafood in it, but like traditionally it's just like various types of beef. But some pho, man.
Oh, pho, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we had a really good pho place, like shockingly good. It was in West Virginia, so you're not expecting great, and it was amazing. They went out of business because none of these hillbillies would eat it.
We had a very similar thing with the Vietnamese place here, but there's luckily one about 35 minutes to my house that we will make a special trip to just to go eat at, and it is one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at.
I love pho, dude. I love pho.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Pho even hits on a summer day. It's somehow refreshing.
Yeah, it's all the spices in it. It's just so delectable.
Y'all bean sprouting your fuzz? Y'all add bean sprout?
Gotta.
Yeah, bean sprout's essential in a good pho to me.
When I was in Cleveland, I actually worked with a Vietnamese woman, and she invited me to like a party, which a bunch of us at work thought it was going to be like a crazy, not crazy, but like a drinking and burgers or whatever. Instead, her like 91-year-old grandma had been making pho since like the day before, and it was amazing. It was like earth shattering. And like we all were just like hanging out with an old grandma.
That's my kind of party.
And it was awesome. Like we all like hit our beer until she started drinking. Then we're like, okay, we're good to go. And I had like fourths.
Yeah, that's cookout.
Yeah.
Sam, where you at on soup?
I
don't like soup.
We're deep in tub talk.
I think
get this guy out of here.
Hold on, don't like soup?
Not a big soup guy. If I had to pick, you force me. You got a gun to my head, two of them potentially. I would say a tomato bisque, but not a big soup guy. I think
Get
the
this
form
guy out of here
is against nature. It's not how food was supposed to be constructed.
This is wild.
It is what it is.
Well, hold on. You think liquids are against nature?
Liquids and solids together?
You ever had cereal?
What are we doing?
Okay.
What'd you say?
Cereal?
I don't consider milk a liquid.
What is happening?
We have a lot. Okay, we.
This is now Big Top.
This is upsetting.
I don't know how to process. I don't consider milk a liquid.
This is more upsetting than anything Tanner has said.
Whoa.
Well, that's not true. That's
No,
not true.
I agree. I have never said anything as stupid as milk is not a liquid.
Well, I was just talking about the general anti-soup sentiment.
No, I agree. Being anti-soup is wild. That's like being anti-air.
There's so many good vegan soups out there.
I'm not vegan.
Well, whatever
I think I need to tell you that.
Or vegetarian.
Yeah, whatever you are.
I'm just not a big soup guy.
Like a veggie.
Have it.
Are you something where you couldn't eat a vegan soup? Because I'm not vegan and I could eat a vegan soup.
Yeah, a good veggie, meatless chili. I mean, I know we said earlier.
We said chili was not a soup.
I know we said earlier chili wasn't soup.
I love a chili, but that
makes no fucking sense.
Oh my god. What about like a minestrone?
Wait, how much liquid do you put in your chili?
So close to a chili. In a way.
A chili is still wet.
Well, we're not talking about.
Is your chili just fucking ground fake turkey and beans? I mean, what the fuck are you doing, Sam?
Chili, to be fair, drier than milk, which is not a liquid.
Correct.
I'm trying to figure out his scale here. I'm trying to make this work.
That's true. That's true.
I can't fight with that fucking logic, I guess. In a world where milk isn't a liquid,
That changes everything. Once you orient yourself with that, it's all opens up.
Damn.
I just could not engage with the soup cereal conversation that was about to happen.
I don't understand why you can't engage. You saying something as stupid as milk is not a liquid.
Tanner, congrats. Milk is a liquid.
Okay.
You've nailed it. I don't want to talk about is cereal a soup.
That's not the question. You said food. You said solids and liquids shouldn't mix, which is your whole argument against.
You know what? Correct. Except if it's sweet.
I was saying,
if
what
it's
about
sweet,
a milkshake?
Like, wait, what's going on there?
Yeah, what
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
kind of
What's
question
going
is
on
that?
I just wanted to feel like milkshakes, I guess.
I'm intrigued.
God,
That's just liquid.
I didn't want to bring
missing
this
the
up.
point.
I didn't want to bring this up, but Sam was sending some really upsetting DMs about some other things he didn't think should mix, and
Oh god, that's usually Tanner's territory.
Jesus Christ.
I am not the one that confused Teddy along with Tony Atlas. That was not me. So, sorry, folks. Soup's a loser.
I'm reading the 6-pack by I gotta Google this. Brad Balukjan. I don't know how to say his last name. But it's
Brad Stutz.
But it's a yes. It's
Big
great.
I also thought you were going that direction.
No. I'm just gonna say it's ostensibly about the Iron Sheik, but there's a big Tony Atlas section that's awesome. People should read it. Haven't finished it yet, but people should read that part. So there you go. There's your book.
Oh, he
club.
did a reading at a Syracuse independent bookstore that I didn't go to.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah, you're not talking your way out of this one, you anti-soup motherfucker.
I think this is a good place to end it, to maybe do some plugs, go home, eat some soup, and just move on.
I'm going to go eat a salad after this.
Yeah, and a
Eat
house
salad
that
is a gross thing to say.
in a house that is 64 degrees year round, how are you anti-fucking soup?
You could be having soups whenever you wanted. I've tried to get away
You
from
could
it,
have soup
and now
at
I'm back
night.
to it.
Yeah, you live in
damn
soup heaven,
threat.
bro.
That's a threat. I can have soup whenever I want.
Oh my god, I'm showing up for a soup and swimming party.
Okay, well that's fucked up.
I'm just
I'd
saying.
rather
64
fucking die.
inside. I eat a nice little soup. I put my bathing suit on and I go to the pool.
And you wait 30 minutes.
Well, you gotta. You don't want to cramp up.
What's liquid? It doesn't count. You can have a liquid and get in the pool.
Can't drink milk though.
Can't drink milk. Don't do that. And honestly, you know, that might enforce the point. Don't drink milk when you're going in the pool. That'll be a problem.
Yeah,
That'd be a
that's
problem for me because I'm lactose intolerant. So
Same.
All right, but plugs. Violentpeople.co. Are you guys reading this Mark vs. Mark? You should be.
It's good stuff.
It's really good stuff. Twitter doesn't think so for some reason. But it's great. And then, of course, we have Wet Hot American Dragon Summer. So you should listen to that. Or read that. Don't listen to it.
yeah, don't listen to it.
Well, I mean, I guess if you have a
nobody's-
program that reads it out loud, you could do that too, but whatever.
Well, I guess we were going to reveal it later, but I'm doing dramatic readings of every article.
I love it.
Published on violentpeople.co.
Every single article.
Yep.
That's what Chris has been working on instead of the Lucha Roundup.
Oh, shut your mouth. It's coming Thursday. We're doing plugs. It's coming Thursday. Check violentpeople.co for that.
And then where do they find you, Chris?
At Fight Haskins, y'all because I actually so I didn't want to talk about something that's dropping Thursday, but y'all like Fishman, y'all like Sadika.
Whoa!
Y'all like Judas El Traidor?
Okay.
Yeah.
All the stars.
Just some names to watch.
Hell yeah.
All right, Tanner, where do they find you? What do you got to plug?
Again, violentpeople.co. The Wet Hot American Dragon Summer is I think people are really liking it. I've liked all the diversity and all the pieces so far, and let me just say, there's some fucking wild ones coming down the pipe.
It's gone amazing, right? Like,
it's probably the best idea I've had this year.
I was gonna say I hate it, but it's a Tanner idea. It's gone so well.
Easily the best idea Tanner's had this year.
Yeah.
Easily.
Probably the best idea I've had this year. Otherwise, you can find me in the Violent People Community Discord, just chilling out, talking about all sorts of random shit.
You and 200 other people, right?
Yeah, God, I think it's like 215 now,
Oh
right?
my god.
200 of our closest friends.
Yep.
Sam?
And if
I actually have a question for Chris first.
Okay.
What's up?
How that Pistons press conference make you feel?
Oh.
So I mean, so I like Trajan Langdon. I think he's a good hire for president of basketball operations. Like I'm willing to see where things go with him. I think he answered his questions very well, and he was honest about the state of the team, in that the team is bad and there is tons of work to do in just getting like NBA players around Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey before we even talk about, hey, when do we expect to be in the playoffs again? Because this has been a bad team. This is the Detroit Pistons are a very bad franchise currently, just horrendous. Tom Gores, I loathe that man, and he did not like talking about his private equity firm, and talking about how many great people he's hired, while also talking about, before we brought Trajan Langdon in, I didn't think for years we've really had someone who's been able to run the day-to-day operations of this organization. Oh yeah, great job. You're doing great, doing great, Tom.
couldn't have said it better myself.
I thought it was pretty cool when he said, "Yeah, I've never had an interview process quite like this." He just left it at that. I thought that was a pretty sick thing to say with the guy who interviewed him sitting right next to him.
Well, they hugged. If you didn't catch
that's how you know it's real.
That got brought up multiple times, that they hugged at 3:30 in the morning.
I don't know if this is condescending. I honestly think the Pistons are like a really, really good roster for a 14-win team. Like, you pull up the roster, you go, I like a lot of these guys. It'd be cool if they could win basketball games.
I mean, there is talent on that roster.
For sure. I would much rather be a Pistons fan
developed
than a Bulls fan.
It needs to be, the talent needs to be developed. There needs to be cohesion. There has not been cohesion to that roster for so long. And that, like, that's the biggest issue. It's like, it doesn't matter if, like, Cade goes off or Jaden Ivey goes off. If, like, there's no spacing, if there's no roster cohesion, it's all a mess.
Anyway,
Monty Williams is playing... I'm sorry.
Wait, let me finish. You
opened this can of worms.
You can read all about this at violentpistons.co. Check it out.
Man, I gotta buy that URL now. .coms, they're so expensive, guys. You can find me on Twitter at Concrete1992. I have not done anything in a while, but let me tell you, my wife's going out of town. We're watching wrestling, and we're gonna write something possibly for this website. We're eating soup, aka cereal, all weekend long for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Dude, a good bowl of Fruity Pebbles, though, at night.
Hits.
That shit hits.